Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be riding around Newport here in Queensland on my 2019 Harley Davidson Heritage. We're going to enjoy some of the views, maybe grab a coffee, check out what Newport's all about and talk a little bit about safety gear. Hello everyone and welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name's Rob and this channel is all about getting back into riding after a 30-year break. Today I'm riding my 2019 Harley Davidson Heritage. I wanted to talk about safety gear today. We're going to have a bit of a look around Newport, which is pretty cool. You've got some great views around here. We can enjoy some of this fantastic Queensland weather and check out the area. It's going to be fantastic. Let's go. Alright, I've got my phone in my pocket, so we'll have to figure out where the marina is, but I think it's up here. What a beautiful day. I like Newport. It's got these little areas where people can have their boats. If you're fortunate enough to be in a position where you can have these boats sitting here next to the water like this. Little estuaries or things like that. Beautiful day. I reckon it's about 25 degrees. It's warm out in the sun though. In your jacket, you've got these canals. Not sure exactly where the marina is, but I'm going to go over here to the right. We're going to see if we can do the marina. Looks like there might have been some water down that way, but anyway, we can have a little look around. I thought I knew where I was going, but no, I don't. Alright, I'm going to just pull over here somewhere and we'll see if we can get some directions going. We're going to be back in business. Says we should turn here. Let's get back on track. Got some water, but it's not the same as Sydney beaches. As someone who used to live in Sydney, the Sydney beaches are gorgeous. I mean, there's some beautiful water views here, but it's not the same as the Sydney beaches unless you're probably at the Gold Coast or further up north. What's this here? Looks like a Bentley. It's good if we can get some shade somewhere. So I'll have a look a little bit at the marina here. My battery's getting low, so I do want to find a little coffee shop. I didn't actually charge this camera, so I do want to find a bit of a coffee shop. Let's see what we got there. This is the marina here, I believe, for Newport. Beautiful home over there. Guess money plays a big factor. Owning a home over there. Alright, let's find a little coffee shop. Alright, so we're going to move over to Scarborough. I've tried to look for little coffee shops around here, but there's not really that much that I can see on the map. I mean, I'm not that familiar with the area, but anyway, we'll go. It's about 3 k's away. over to Scarborough, which should be across from a beach. We'll see how we go. We'll enjoy the ride. Don't want to go front first because it's going to be hard to get the bike out. It's dipping down. Yeah, I've got some awesome views here. Every time I try to get a table, someone takes it with the dog. But look at the views here. Awesome. Got the beach here, Scarborough Beach. Let's try and find a cool space. All right, so I've got myself a table. Fortunately, there is the beach just there, but there is some barriers. Just called bike behind the ute there. And it's nice to get the jacket off, just enjoy the scenery. I just kicked my GoPro, not GoPro, use my helmet mount. Actually, this is a custom made mount that I made. I broke my chin mount and I've been test fitting this one. It's still not perfect. I need to work on some of the angles here. But so far it's holding up and I've got a safety chain on there. So I'm hoping maybe I can make some of these mounts. Got some birds. Hello birds. Fortunately I don't have any food for you. All right, let's talk safety gear. What do you like to wear when you ride? Let's start with where I usually start, earplugs. I've actually got earplugs in now. I like to wear earplugs when I'm riding my bikes. The Harley's kind of loud. I don't know, I guess that's different for everyone. What I think's loud and what someone else thinks loud is two different things, but I like to wear earplugs to protect my hearing. I never used to when I was younger and I have a bit of tinnitus. I don't know if that's from that. I don't typically listen to loud music, but it could be a few things, I guess. But starting with earplugs, and the ones I have, which I bought a long time ago for concerts, these are called the Fit Life. Yeah, pretty happy with them. They're not a full ear plug, they just basically muffle the sound by reducing the decibels about 20%. And of course, after earplugs, what I have is my helmet. So this is my Bell Lithium, which I believe is the newer model. It is rated ECE 2206. This is also the MIPS one. It's actually a very affordable helmet. I think I paid just under $300 Australian, which is not a lot of money for a helmet. I just needed one kind of quickly. Oh, I learned to drive in one of these things. Ford Anglia. Interesting to see one of those. Sorry, side story. My dad bought us one of those to learn how to drive on a farm that I grew up on. Anyway, back to the helmet. Yeah, so we have the Bell Lithium. It comes with a pin lock thing on the inside. It's a pretty good helmet. Hard for me to compare because I haven't had other helmets in a long time, but that's the one I use. I would say use the best rating helmet you can get, so you can make sure that you're using all the best safety you can afford. I think it's super important to be able to choose safety gear based on a rating. Now you'll see some gear is rated AAA, AA, different types of ratings. Personally, I use a website called Motocap, which is an Australian website, which I'll put a link in the description. They actually do independent ratings across gloves, helmets, jackets. They don't do boots. But yeah, you go on there, they basically do some abrasion testing, impact testing, and they give everything a rating. And I kind of try to use that. Now, not everything is being done, like a lot of gear isn't on there, but a lot of it is also on there, so it can help you choose the right type of gear. And as much as I can, I try to use that to choose the gear that I'm using, because they actually give it a rating. And, you know, if it's 4 or 5 star, it's going to be really good. If it's 1 or 2 star, and some of the brands out there that you would think are going to be good aren't rated very well, and that includes a lot of the Harley Davidson gear, which is why I don't wear it. So then we have your jacket. Now I use the DriRider Climate Exo 4. It is a really good jacket on Motocap. I spent a bit of time researching jackets before I bought one. This was actually rated a 4. It has some inserts and that sort of thing to support for wind, rain, those kind of things, which you can just take out, the inner linings. And I just generally use it because it's quite warm up here in Queensland, just without those linings inside, and it does give you a nice breeze through the jacket. After my jacket, I got some Kevlar line jeans. Okay, so these are the RST Tech Pro CE Kevlar jeans. They also have some padding in the hips and padding in the knees. They're actually quite comfortable. They don't really get hot, which is good. Even in quite warm weather, I still feel pretty comfortable in these, but they work. You can adjust the actual CE rated knee pads up and down to suit your leg length, so that works. I was thinking about Finmoto, but they always seem to be out of stock, but I believe they're Australian as well. So anyway, RST, been pretty happy with these. They're pretty good jean. Boots, you need some decent boots. I use DriRiders. These are my DriRider boots. They're actually not rated. I actually just bought these. I was just looking for something. I didn't see any boots rated on Motocap, so I just picked what I thought would work. These seem to be okay, but they do have some boots that are CE rated, so I'll probably look at updating these. I think they have one of those steel soles or a bar that goes across the sole. At least that's what I think it is. And lastly, I have my gloves. These are the DriRider gloves. I believe they're long cuffs. Also, I think they were 4 rating on Motocap, so I definitely use Motocap to rate these. Now these were really good because I didn't like my old gloves. They were also DriRider. So DriRider is an Australian company. You probably can't get these anywhere else unless you're in Australia, but I really like their gear. I don't really pick them because they're DriRider. It just seems to be, they were always the thing that worked for me. So with the right price point, the right certification and safety, and these are actually very comfortable. They actually have some wind that comes through these, which is nice when you're riding as well. Probably not great in the rain, but I don't ride in the rain unless I kind of get stuck in it. So I think the main thing is that when you're choosing your safety gear, that you understand the protection that's going to give you. Not all gear is the same. I use Motocap to help me create a, I guess, unbiased choice. You look at that, you can have a look at the ratings, you can understand how good that gear is based on the same sort of standard test. Now it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean it's going to save you if you're just being an idiot, or maybe even if you're not, in some cases not going to work. So it's just a way to give you a chance to understand what you're buying and what you're getting for the money that you're spending. So I do recommend Motocap. So I've moved to Scarborough. I think this is Scarborough, part of Scarborough. I just started riding. I had to charge up this camera because I hadn't charged it, and I do have a little power pack, so I've given this a bit more charge. So I might just see if I can get a drone up here. It's actually safe. So I thought I could fly my drone here. I was wrong. If we just have a quick look. We're right in the authorization zone. It might be hard to see, but we're basically in the flight path there. So unfortunately, there'll be no drone footage. Anyway, I think it's probably time to go. I'm getting really bloody hungry. Let's go for a ride home and we'll wrap it up. So this is what I was hoping we could get some video footage of. Unfortunately, that's not going to be possible because we're in the flight path. But it's quite nice. before we head off. Again, you get a lot of this kind of mud flats around here. Really nice breeze though. Alright, let's make our way home. Boy, I'm starving. I'm getting so hungry. Been out for a couple of hours now. Well, this would be a lot easier if you didn't wear gear. And I mean, look at this lady. She feels safe. Little do they know what pain they're going to be in if they come off that bike. I don't ever want to come off and think, why the hell did you do that? The bike needs fuel. I think we've got about 100 k's left, so that should be it. That's more than enough, I'd say, to get home. Alright, I think I've done everything. Check my bags are closed. Let's get on the bike and get out of here. I need to get some breeze. I need to eat something. Another one, just a t-shirt. Let's go along the esplanade a little bit more to enjoy the scenery, then we'll head home. Where the fuck are you going, mate? Fucking asleep. The guy's fucking asleep. Alright, so I'm going to wrap up the video here as we just cruise along the Scarborough area, I believe this is, for the rest of this ride. I just wanted to thank everyone who's been viewing the videos, who's liked, who's subscribed, comments. I really appreciate it. I'm really blown away by the growth of the channel in such a short time and that people would be interested in following me, but I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, give us a like, give us a subscribe. That way we can keep going. I look forward to possibly meeting some of you out on the road. If not, ride safe, take care, give your families a hug, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks everyone.